Hello, everyone. I'm back. This time we'll be doing a new video, and not a diplomacy video. This time we'll be playing a new game that I've recently have found to be a lot of fun, and that is called Lines of Battle. Now, if you don't know what Lines of Battle is, that's okay, because Lines of Battle is actually a very brand new game that has only come out a few months ago. And in this battle, I'm actually facing off against a player called the Duke of Wellington, who's also a YouTuber. In fact, I will link his YouTube page, and if you want to learn more about this game, his tutorial down below. But this is a very, very fun game that simulates Napoleonic warfare using artillery, infantry, and cavalry. So, to start off, I'm blue, and we have some interesting terrain features here. Now, given my superiority of cannon, I think I'm going to set up on this hill in order to see if I can necessarily get a better vantage. No, that's stupid. Let's set up over here. I'm going to take this hill, hopefully, and I'm going to set up and be ready. All right, and now let's submit orders. And as said, I'm playing live against the Duke of Wellington as of right now. Ah, drat, he moved his position over there. So in any case, in this game, as said, you take on the role of any commander, and you fight it out. I'm currently playing as I'm currently playing as blue and against red, because generally, especially since one of the main variants of this game is the Battle of Waterloo, which I can show you later on, it's simulated around Napoleonic warfare and often viewed British versus the French. Each side has a certain number of points that they can spend on their turns, and each unit is worth a certain amount of points. Infantry are worth, infantry are worth 100, artillery are worth 125, and cavalry are worth 150. So in this game, you can create your own army corps, and it has a very, very active multiplayer base. So then you can play multiplayer games against people, and the games themselves, depending on the time format you use, if you do 1 minute time formats, it could take probably 20 minutes, and it's a very fun way for those of you who enjoy the classic line battle way of doing it. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it. This is not a sponsored video. It's just something I've found quite enjoyable recently. The other nice thing about this game is that you don't need any app, though it has it on the Google Play Store. All you need to do is go to linesofbattle.net, which is this website right here, in order to pop up a game and play. You can play the AI, you can play a real player, etc. In addition, this game has an ELO system. Currently, I'm ranked 1358. The Duke of Wellington is ranked 1425. And it allows for a very dynamic play as you get to rise through the rankings and leaderboards. Now, as said, the game is framed around Napoleonic warfare, and still it's in its very early stages. Like, this has only been around for 4 months, and already it's quite well done. From what I understand from the developers, they're already planning on expanding out to include such units on a more deeper level. Instead of just infantry, cannon, and artillery, we are going to have stuff like, grenadiers or lancers and stuff like that. And it's and there it has a very 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 active Discord community, which I'm also going to link down below for y'all. Um, but yes, so as said, I'm playing currently, and as of right now, I'm mainly just moving around a lot. In this game, there are 4 different actions you can use. You can use move, you can use seek. Seek is when you select a unit and select on it, it'll automatically go out and hunt the units. You can press shoot, or you can press seek and shoot. Seek and shoot, it'll try to shoot the enemy while moving towards the enemy. Currently, the Duke of Wellington and I are in a bit of a tactical outmaneuvering each other. Some of these games can have taken a long time, but no matter what, there's always a cap limit of 64 turns, 64 turns above. We set it to 3 minutes. Usually we would not do that long. I personally like doing 1-minute battles, but because I'm trying to do a video analysis of the game, that we're playing, that's 1-minute battles is just not good enough for that. So I'm currently set up on this hill, and I'd say I'm in a pretty good position. He has to come in order to attack me, but I still want to prioritize it a bit better. Let's see. One issue about this game that you learn very very quickly is like units, particularly artillery, get to fire through line. For example, say one of his artillery pieces was in range, like this is the range of artillery. If they're all in a line, he can hit all of these units at once. And that can create problems at times for obvious reasons. So you want to keep your units away. But at long range, artillery can be quite powerful. But then naturally in melee, artillery are not so powerful. That's where cavalry are much more likely to win you the game. So currently, the Duke of Wellington is trying to outflank me. He has a larger cavalry force, and that's honestly a little scary. My power in this game, at least, lies in the fact that I have more cannon. As said, you can choose your own army size, and there are 4 different modes, that you can play for. You can play in the Battle of Waterloo, that has set historical units and sides for each player. You can play combat, which is what we're currently playing with, which I forget just how many points it allows you to have, but it has a set number of points for you to use in order to play the game. You can play Clash. Clash only has 11 units. If you need a very, very quick game, being only 11 units around, it's quite fun, yet still enjoyable. And then finally, there's the battle mode. Now, as said, there's a very, very active multiplayer community. So unlike other battles that, like Rome Total War, where you have to wait forever for people to join, because these battles are quite short, people join them all the time. As said, the only reason this is taking me a little longer is because I'm trying to do a video analysis. Alright, so let's talk about our position. So the Duke of Wellington currently is sizing up a force and an attack. Now, he knows my primary weapon is my artillery, so he's going to try to attack the hill fast because he knows he cannot defeat me in an artillery duel since I just simply have more guns. I'm not about to let that happen. I need to set my units up ready in case he comes and attacks. Particularly, I'm worried of what may happen regarding his guns. But let's see if we can try to push the agenda here. Let's see if we can just get within just enough range in order to shoot him off. But we cannot overlap our units because we don't want to cause friendly fire, especially in the case of our cannon, which can become very, very problematic. In the game, you have two different modes, two different health bars. You have organization, which shows just how organized they are, because trust me, infantry do not like, if you're a soldier, you would not like or enjoy seeing your rank and file being decimated. And then you have health. If you get to 0 health, your unit is utterly destroyed, but if you get to 0 org, which is what happens 99% of the time, that means your unit breaks and has to leave the field to fight. See, I just took a friendly fire shot there. That was unfortunate. But, as said, the Duke of Wellington is expertly beginning to flank me, and it's actually becoming a bit of a problem. Because one issue is that, how do I explain this? He is getting out of range of my cannon, which are, as said, my primary weapon here. So I'm going to try to reposition. But one thing I need to worry about is that he is not in a position to take my objective. Now, that may be problematic considering the fact that well, he's going behind my lines. Luckily, though, cavalry cannot capture objectives. Do not ask me why, that's just the rules of the game. But that may give me a bit of an advantage here. So let me see if I can set up a line of cannon here in order to shoot at his flank. Meanwhile, I need to worry about these cavalry. Let's see if I can create a line. But yes, as said, there are great improvements that this game could take, absolutely. But overall, for a game that has only been around for 4 months, that is constantly being updated, I am thoroughly impressed. Alright, so my units are in a much better position now to actually fire on him, because I have all these guns pointed at the flank of his infantry. And if I shoot, you see, I can hit a lot of them at once. So let's see if I can try to... What should I shoot? Let's just try to shoot them for now. And meanwhile, these two guns can continue to pummel at their infantry, at their cavalry. You know what? Let's also see if I can go for an attack. Generally, the most common thing I use in this game, in terms of movement, in terms of actions, is the movement, and shoot. In the case of artillery, artillery are not good at moving and are slower than the average unit. But surprisingly enough, they do a lot more decently in melee than you would be surprised. So let's see what the Duke of Wellington does. I'm expecting he's going to advance his forces up to the front, and maybe if I were him, I would move back the cavalry, but let's see what he does. Okay, it is just as I feared. He is moving back his cavalry. Alright, that's fine. The issue I have as of the moment is that I am... Well, first of all, using his cannon, he has the ability to hit a lot of my troops as of right now, and his infantry are full on attacking my cannon. In this game, you don't yet have canister shot. As said, very early on, they are still working on it. So I need to be very careful of not losing my cannon here. To do that, I'm going to be retreating a lot of my men cautiously in order to see... Well, let's see what happens here. This is risky because I am stacking my men such that already his artillery are beginning to pummel mine. So he has done a very good job with his flanking maneuver. Okay. Okay. So this is not bad because his cavalry just removed themselves from the fight accidentally, at least for now. So meanwhile, I can try to initiate an attack. Let's see if I can try a hit and run of sorts as of the moment. You know what? I'm also going to move back my cannon, get out of firing range. I'm going to shoot at these 3 units, and I'm going to move. Ooh, there is that. I'm going to move this cannon here. Meanwhile, I'm going to move these 4 in an attack forward. This is risky, but let's see if this works. Alright, and I'm going to swoop around the flank and try to hit their rear. Let's see if this works. He's probably going to deploy line, but I need to do something because I'm getting torn to shreds. So this is going to be interesting. Prepare for full-on melee. And as said, the other nice thing is that once although there is a turn timer before you have to submit your orders, once both sides submit orders, the turn automatically goes through. So if you're both quick about it, you can play this with a friend, and there are custom game modes where you can invite a friend, as I did with the Duke of Wellington, in order to play whoever you want. Ooh, this is about to get interesting. Alright, so I have 5 infantry in a line as of the moment. Okay, let's see if I can destroy that infantry. I'm going to see if I can break through their center, his center. I'm going to... Well, first of all, cavalry in the rear is very strong. I'm also going to send units there. I'm going to send a reinforcement here. I'm going to break his rear, hopefully. And I'm going to see if I can try to break the units on this flank. I'm also going to move up my cannon just in case. Oh, shoot. Yeah, his cavalry is going to be a problem. I forgot about that. Whoops. My goal is I'm going to break his flank. I'm going to break this flank and then roll up the line. Now, I do need to worry about the fact that he has... Let's see if this cannon can worry about that unit as of right now. Alright. Hey. Alright, you two fire on him. I think the combination of this cannon firing on him and also this infantry about to attack may do it. But let's see if I can break his flank. This is going to be an intense turn. Alright. Once all enemy units are broken, and to do that, you either break them on the field, or you capture their victory point. By capturing their victory point, it takes a few turns to actually capture the victory point. It causes all the units to begin deorganizing and to break. The battle is over. But generally, people know when the battle is over. Like, this is still competitive, so people would resign early. To do that, you go to menu, and I will talk about this later, but you press withdraw. So let's see what happens. This is going to be an intense turn, because the one question is, what are all these cavalry going to do? Okay, so overall, I would say I am happy. I have broken his flank. The one issue I do have, I have a few issues. Number one, his cannon are still here, and they're firing into my flank and actually hurting me. Number 2, he has a large cavalry force, which is still in my rear, and my cannon are very much exposed as a result. And my units are on a line. So this is definitely still very, very competitive. As to who will win, I don't know. But provided I can... I think I'm going to continue to push the flank, but I'm going to get out these cavalry, so that they may reorganize. Shoot. Alright, let's seek. I'm going to seek you. I'm going to seek and shoot you. I'm going to see how many units I can break. Alright. And then this is the power of my attack. These units right here. Alright, so... I desperately need something in order to keep... You know what? I'm going to send you up there in order to deal with the enemy cavalry that are just trying to attack. This is going to be intense. You know what? Let's loop you around so that if in case... Oh, orders. Alright. Let's see what happens. Luckily, even though I missed the check button, they still record my orders. Okay. Honestly, not that bad. Hopefully, I'll be able to break these 2 units. As for the chaos here in the south, it's chaotic, that's for sure. And that's what happens with a lot of these games. It gets extremely chaotic very quickly. Well, I'm going to see if I can outflank. I'm going to shoot at these 2. These 2 units should break. Hopefully... Alright. Although these units are moving into them, once they break, they'll be able to have much larger freedom of movement. And I'm going to concentrate my attack on these units. The issue is going to be his flanking cavalry. You know what? I need to charge into there. I need a break. 1, 2, 3. I need a break. Definitely these 3 units this turn. What are you doing? Alright, just continue to try and break the enemy. The other thing I need to hope for is that my units reorganize themselves. And that happens. Throughout times, your units can reorganize themselves to come back into the battle. I'm hoping that happens here quickly. For example, my cannon here, my other cannon here, etc. But as of right now, they're breaking. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be an intense turn. Alright, folks, let's see what happens. Okay. I am happy with that. his... I mean, I need to withdraw my cav here to see if I can reorganize it. Maybe I'll be able to get it out in time. Maybe. You need to shoot through these units. Let's see. Oh wow, you're practically at 0 health. Let's have you recover. Let's have you seek and defeat this unit. And then let me say something. Although his artillery is dealing me quite the headache, I think I'm okay with that as of right now. And as of right now, I'm shooting my artillery at breaking units. Why? Because I don't want them to reform. My goal right now is I want to break as many of his units and cause them to flee the battle entirely such that they won't reform. They'll go off map. And then my units, like this one, they will reform. As for the south, it's just pure chaos. This is difficult. He's a very good player. Alright, I think I need to try... This is where, although it's still strategic, you kind of have to guess and fudge what you think is best. So, like, my worry here is that he has almost a full strength cavalry, 2 cavalry units here. My units are quite low, and there are still enemy units here. My goal, I think, is to send out the weak ones, these 2, in order to reform. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units focus down these 2 to quickly attack them. Although these cavalry shall come in the rear, I'm hoping that it'll give me enough time to break them. But I'm betting his cannon are going to continue to fire on me. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, this looks like a lost game. This looks like a lost game. He's definitely one of the better players out there. And is definitely, if you like this sort of thing, I highly recommend you check out his YouTube channel. He does lines of battle, but to a much better degree than I am currently doing it here. I do have new infant. Let's see. I mean, I'm reforming my cavalry as planned. I can maybe seek and defeat that unit. I am kind of breaking out. Let's see if I can break out to the south and then hopefully reform. As said, that's been my goal. I've already reformed this artillery, which can now shoot in their rear. If I can break these cannon, that would be very, very... These cavalry, that would be very, very good. Oh, I also forgot I have this unit. Let's move you down also. No, let's... What would be the best? I think I want you to reform, but where would I have you reform? This is risky, because part of me wants to rush this way, away from his cannon, but that risks friendly fire. Yeah, I think that is best because I need to reform as many of my units. The one thing I have going for me is that, as said, I was focusing on completely routing his units so that my units could reform, but his units cannot. So that's the goal. So let's see what happens. Uh, wow, this just turned very ugly very fast. Um, yeah, almost all my units are gone except my except my my uh except my cannon. Luckily, the game is not quite over yet. As said, if I can still break his units, and I have still reforming units, starting with this one, I still may have a shot. It's very, very slim, though. I'm like 80% sure the Duke of Wellington has this one, and because. And I'm not about to be a bad sport and pretend I've won a lost battle, so. But one of the crazy things about this is you. In this game, you should tides can turn very fast in this game. But that is what is so. That is honestly what is so fun about it, because everything about it's trying to simulate actual battles and actual warfare. And although, sure, there's a lot of issues like, oh, can cannon really stand up that well against infantry? Why can't cannon have canister? Oh, units reform a bit fast, this, that. But it's only been around for 4 months, and it's a free online thing. I'm using Safari for this. I didn't even, and all I gave them was my email, just like anything else. So I would say it is 100% worth getting. As said, I think I lost this battle, but I am still going to try. I am still going to try for at least a few more turns. Ooh, I do have a reformed cavalry. That is very nice. This is why I'm still going to try, because depending on what units reform, I could possibly have a chance. Possibly. And also depending on what units I can break as well. So we'll see. But then again, his units could reform as well, like this artillery piece just did. Where is it good? Do I? Yeah, let's see if I can focus down that unit. Ooh. Okay. I think I can break this cavalry maybe with all my cannon focused on it. We'll see. We'll see. All right. All right, let's see what happens. Well, here's the good news. I think I can, with a little bit of luck, break his attacking cavalry, and then I may have a shot. I may still have a shot. Maybe. I mean, let's look at this. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 unbroken units. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 unbroken units, but possibility of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units coming back. Then again, he also has that possibility. But as said, I focused on them earlier on in order to reduce their damage. Like, hopefully these units get routed off the field. But let's see. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what happens. Is there anything else I can do? realistically, no. I mean, the line has kind of broken down into general chaos by now. I'm not going to deny. Oh, I do have a reformed cavalry. Oh, and another reformed infantry. Let's play this out for just a few more turns. But I think I am just about defeated. Let's see. Yeah, next turn may be the turn I call it, because realistically there's not much I can do. Regardless, he still has 4 unbroken cannon that are firing across the field at my units. My units are all scattered, my cannon are all broken. He has the high ground. And he has cavalry charging all over the place. And is doing very well. So what first caused this? Well, his initial flanking was pretty well done, and may have been a partial cause. Though, on the other hand, I am just about to flank him here. Maybe I can... Oh, and also I have an unbroken... This just got interesting with... Let's shoot first at this. This is risky. My final gamble, I think, of this game is that I need to take out the enemy artillery. I need to. If I have any shot of winning this game, it's taking out his artillery. His artillery is massacring me. Completely and utterly massacring me. I was about to resign this turn, but because those 3 units just reformed right near the artillery, I think it's worth at least one more shot. Let's see. No, that's it. That's it, folks. So yeah. Although I can prolong the conflict, it's obvious by now I'm going to lose. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reformed infantry that just came back. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. His cavalry is going to massacre my units. And I'd say it's a pretty safe bet to say at this point that the Duke of Wellington this time has the victory, because eventually what's going to happen is he's going to either break all my units, or like this infantry is going to go and capture the victory point. So well done, Duke of Wellington. I shall concede to you. And there are a few interesting, more additional things I want to highlight. As said, first of all, my ranking went down. He was a 1425. He now went up to a 1438, and it kind of works like chess, this elo system, and it's quite fun trying to pursue the higher levels. You start out as a 1200. You start out base as a 1200 in elo. And already I've only been playing this past week, and I have risen to 1345 overall. And I'm still relatively new to the game, at least in comparison. Well, I'm still very new to the game. I've only been playing for the past 5-6 days. And everyone else here, I said the Discord community, they're all great. They're a lot more. They're a bit more experienced, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Like just the other day, I did defeat the number one player in the world. Then again, my record against him is that he's won 9 games. I've lost 3. But as said, although this is a relatively longer form, if only because we're doing 3-minute turns, you can have this much shorter. And notice how much time I was taking in trying to explain what I was doing. I could have been submitting orders nonstop, and this game could have gone a lot faster. And there are a few more cool things I want to highlight about this game, which show the level of detail the creators have gone through. First of all, you have replay. And this allows you to replay the battle. Taking this game, I've always have it saved. Now, if I create a new tab and reopen the game, it can go automatically to the replay function. And you can replay your battle. And it simulates the entire battle for you. So let's go back over everything. I take the high ground. I set up on the hill. The Duke of Wellington knows this, and he knows he has fewer artillery pieces than me. So he prepares for an attack. He prepares for going around my flank. I begin realizing my problem. I tried to shift forces slowly in order to try to hit his flank of infantry, but he has already maneuvered quite well. Meanwhile, while my cannon are trying to shoot at his infantry, his cannon are shooting at my artillery. I go in for a counterattack, trying to break his line. Unfortunately, especially with the support of his artillery, it fails. It becomes general chaos in the center. And while I'm trying to fend off troops, his artillery is playing sharpshooter, destroying half my artillery pieces and the rest of the men. He wins the brawl. He then begins taking out man by man. Some of our troops reform. I tried to see what I can do with the remaining troops, going for a final assault against the cannon. But then, as said, I realize I've lost. And as a result, you can save and archive games that are among your favorites, or if you want to share your friends. And this is one of many interesting things. Let's go over a few other things. As said, for your army list, you can. For Clash, you have 1,250 points of material. You can create whatever army you want. You want a full infantry force? All right, let's get a full infantry force. You want a full cavalry force? All right, you can do whatever you want. So for Clash, you have 1,250. For combat, you have 2,250. For battle, you have 4,000 points, etc. And then you can play people in matchmaking. You can have, if you're interested in longer turns, you can have 1-day turns. You can have 3-day turns. You can have 7-day turns. But then if you're interested in quicker games, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10 minutes with Clash, Combat, and Battle, based on things of your own creating. What we just played was 3-minute combat planes. But you could do other combinations. For example, there's this city map at the center, which is quite fun. But then also, probably the most unique is their Battle of Waterloo scenario. And if that doesn't look fun, I don't know what to tell you. You can play against a computer. You can play against a real person. But with this only 4 months in the making, if they're able to do this with Waterloo, imagine what they'll be able to do for other battles. Imagine. So, as said, this is not sponsored. I just have thoroughly enjoyed this game. I do not know what I just did here. Exit. I think. Okay, it doesn't matter. And then you can try to climb the rankings. Here are the top 10 players in the world. There's Iku, Lazy Amos, Lobin, etc. And it's fun watching yourself rise throughout the rankings in what I can only characterize as a more fun experience than and well, okay, maybe not more fun than Rome Total War, but definitely a lot easier to connect and play. Because as said, the battles are very quick. Or can be as quick as or as long as you want. And if you want to play friends, all right. You go to play, you press custom, you press play, and then all you do is invite a friend. And then you can play whoever you want. If you want to challenge people and determine who's the better general, you can do that. And I don't know. I just recently have found this game to be quite thorough and quite well done. Like, very much well done. If you want a further tutorial and understanding as to how the game mechanics work, I highly recommend, actually, the Duke of Wellington's video, which is this, on Lines of Battle Beginner Tutorial. I'll link that below in the description. But also, if you want a vibrant community of other players, I'll also link the Discord. But you don't even need the Discord to constantly be in multiplayer action, one after another after another. This is, I believe, the first game that is able to recreate historical type battles in a time format that is similar in a way to Clash Royale. Now that may sound a bit overly ambitious, but I believe it is true. Like, whereas other grand strategy games like Rome Total War, etc., those take hours and hours to play and are very hard to boot up on your Steam computer, etc., with your friends or whatever. This is a very quick thing. And for them to have only started 4 months ago, I am thoroughly excited to see what they have to offer in the future. If you want to, the best thing you can do as of right now is to support them by showing up and trying the game for yourself, or joining the Discord server, or telling your friends about it. If you like historical style Napoleonic warfare, then this is the game for you. This is the game for you. Everything about it is fun. Like, if you look through history, we can maybe look at one of my previous games. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of a losing record, but I've won as well. Like, let's see this one. So that was against some 1100 player, and that was a lot of fun. Or I'm trying to find. I'll find it later, but it archives the games you play. You get to keep the links that you want, and it's just everything about this game. I know I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but it's very thoroughly thought out and designed. Anyway, this is a very much unconventional video compared to the normal diplomacy. Um, as for the future, I shall be releasing my next diplomacy commentary soon, and that'll be on another Blitz game I played. But also, I shall begin exploring new strategy games like this one, like Lines of Battle, beyond just diplomacy, as a result of my hiatus and break that I'll be taking from diplomacy. Once again, this is not sponsored, but if you're interested in highly historical play, I highly recommend. I cannot recommend enough this game. Anyway, have a good night, and I will see you guys on the next one.